Angry MGTOW here, and today we're discussing why a woman should never be a man's passion. Now, this is a video request from our buddy Tom McCormick, and he's currently going through some things with a one-itis. So we'll go ahead and give Tom some advice in just a moment. Let's go ahead and play the intro. Alrighty, so that's done. So a woman should never be a man's passion because doing so can ruin your life. Let's look at what Tom says. He says, "Howdy, Angry MGTOW. This is my video request. I am very suicidal over this Nawalt girl I have severe one-itis for, and I am in dire need of some MGTOW help and input from a MGTOW mentor such as yourself. This may be a little long, but bear with me. I am truly," and I think he goes on to say that he is truly currently head over heels for the woman, and he's definitely in the one-itis phase. Guys, this is something that we see a lot with young men. A lot of young men find themselves finding, they're with that one special girl. They see that one special girl, and they think that she is going to be that girl that changes their life. They just want to be with her. They just want to be happy with her. They know if they're with her, everything will be better. Things in their lives will improve, and they're gonna have beautiful babies. But that's never the case. It just doesn't work out like that. It never does, and it never will. Your mind plays games on you. Your mind takes advantage of you. It's trying to get you to do the reproductive act, but in reality, it doesn't give a damn about you. Now, to be fair, MGTOW have to be aware of how our brains work. You have to be aware of how our brains will take advantage of us and try to trick us into doing things that we don't even want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and load up the full message from Tom. Let's see if we can get that loaded up. And we're gonna see exactly how we can help Tom out today, because this is something that a lot of young men go through. When you're younger, you have those strong sexual urges, and those strong sexual urges, they they can leave you feeling like the entire world's going to come to an end if you don't end up with the girl that you want, the girl that you have to be with, when in reality you don't have to be with her. So let's read the full message from Tom. "Howdy, Angry. This is my video request. I'm very suicidal over this Nawalt girl. I have severe one-itis for her, and I'm in dire need of some MGTOW help and input from a MGTOW mentor such as yourself. This may be a little long, but bear with me. I am truly in a dire strait and have You're truly in a dire strait and have attempted suicide over this girl. Oh boy. I have a video request that you look at the causes and actionable solutions to one-itis. I'm severely depressed over a Canadian Irish girl I knew from 10th grade, from grade 10 of high school. She was the first girl I truly loved and emotionally invested so much in her. It left me irrevocably traumatized. I still present many behaviors symptomatic of PTSD from this ordeal. My one-itis has driven me to the point of attempting suicide. As as much as I can intellectually accept all women are like that as a way of debunking one-itis, she is very mature. She is a very mature only child with a ton in common and the strongest connection I've ever had with another person. Her Nawalt status, especially compared to the cesspool of women out there, is nigh impossible to demote and pedestalize when I've been close to her for 3 years and she stands out from every other female, if any age group I've ever interacted with, in her self awareness, genuine character, and altruistic demeanor. How do I go about getting over this one-itis, having driven me to the verge of suicide, not least when the scarcity of these type of human beings is driven into you, and she is a needle in a Canadian Irish haystack. The Canadian Irish girl I refer to as 18, am I. Her accent, laugh, smile, way she does her mousy blonde hair, thoughtfulness, reserved nature, feminine body language, and coyness, everything about her character, personally and physicality, I have the Walt One Ice lens on with her. Topped off with such mm, topped off with such sheer amount in common and similarities between us, and it felt like the one that I could never invest as much emotionally ever again due to the utter and absolute emotional damage incurred to the point of suicidability and entirely lacking a will to live without her, the unrequited love from my of my life. P.S. The information is truly vital to my personal well-being and safety, as I am legitimately very suicidal over the Canadian Irish virgin of 18, and am thus in dire need of how to handbook to demote her from her severity ingrained in the wall status and overcome my incredibly unremittingly acute severe case of one-itis ASAP. It is truly imperative, as I am so close to the edge. In truth, please preface the video produced by reading aloud the backstory of my predicament, so your input can be tailored to the details of the dire predicament I find myself in. Thank you as always for disseminating the MGTOW message in many into many of the male ears. You have done many of us a great, sometimes life-saving service. P.S. I've donated an extra $10 for you to go more in depth, greater detail, and spend a longer period of time discussing this topic than you might otherwise. Regards, Tom McCormick. Well, thank you, Tom, for your topic and your donation. One-itis can be terrible. I'll talk a little bit about my own personal experience with one-itis. I've had a one-itis more than once. Yeah, that's a shock. One-itis isn't a one-in-a-lifetime thing. It happens multiple times. The first girl that I can say was truly my one-itis wasn't the girl that wasn't my high school sweetheart. It was actually someone else. It was a girl that I worked with. And we worked together. She was actually kind of toxic. And in the end, I developed this ideology in my head of this pristine girl when she really was the whore of Babylon. The truth is that we create these perceptions in our heads until shit hits the fan, and I ended up trying to push things forward into a relationship with her, and I almost lost my job over it. I was shamed. I had a lot of bad things happen to me as a result of that one-itis when she rejected me. And the second time that something like this happened, it's funny because after that relationship with her, it damaged me so severely. It damaged me so severely that I found myself unable to truly have a meaningful relationship with anyone. And then I met another girl, and she felt perfect in many different ways, even though I know there's no such thing as a perfect girl. But after that horrible relationship with the one-itis, I had came to the conclusion that I would not have anything to do with any other women. And I would just basically focus on myself and my own happiness and go my own way. This is back when I first started Bar. So in reality, I've been a MGTOW a very long time. I've been a MGTOW about 5 years now, maybe, or more. It's been a long time since I've been a MGTOW. And because of what happened with that one-itis, just like you had what happened with you and your high school sweetheart, because of what happened with her, in my case, I couldn't open myself up. And I met this really awesome girl. And, I ended up going back and forth. And if I had just come, I'll put it this way. In the end, things didn't end up working out with her. And it wouldn't have gone that way if I wasn't so afraid. If I wasn't so afraid of falling in love again, of being hurt, and of just getting to know her as a person. You know, a lot of modern women, in truth, don't have anything to offer men. But sometimes you will find someone who you can talk to and that you can spend time with, and you have things in common with them. The truth is that if your love for this person, your feelings for her are unrequited, then that's unlikely to change. Although, if you haven't made your feelings obvious to her, and when I say feelings, I don't mean buying her a box of chocolates, which is some dumb shit I did once. I mean actually just saying, hey, do you want to go hang out and grab some coffee, or you want to come over to our place and watch a movie? Again, you can't just sit there and do nothing. You can't just sit there and say it's on. She doesn't. She's not. She's not giving you back the feelings that you're giving to her if you're not even trying, like putting yourself out there. Uh, People seem to think that MGTOWs are anti-relationship. MGTOWs aren't anti-relationship. We're anti-marriage. We're anti having children in the traditional sense, but we're not anti-relationship. Not all of us. Some of us choose not to get into relationships at all, but that's not a being anti-relationship is not a tenet of MGTOW. It's not a it's not something that was even built into the very notion of being a MGTOW. We are not against relationships. We're not against meeting a woman and having a relationship with a woman. We can talk about the reasons why a lot of us choose not to, but we're not against that. Like I said, I wish that in my case, I wish I had just went off and hung out with her, and and tried to fuck her, and instead of putting her on this pedestal. I wish I had just treated her like a normal person, because after I got over her, it took me years to get over her. After I got over her, she was just like nothing special anymore. But it's because the amount of time I spent trying to avoid getting into a relationship with her, trying to not make her into a one-itis, for me ended up turning her into a one-itis. I understand how you feel because I went through the whole suicidal thing with that first one-itis. I went through the suicidal thing. I mean, I thought I wanted to kill myself. She was the only girl in the world for me. I know how much it hurts, bro. It's easy for me to say, well, you need to start hitting the gym and focusing on yourself, and doing things that you enjoy, and it'll help to change it. It's so easy to say that stuff, but I don't want to lie to you, because I did all of that. I was hitting the gym hard. I was doing all this other stuff. That didn't heal my broken heart, man. That didn't heal my broken heart. One of the things that's hard about being in MGTOW is that you have so many of these guys that try to pretend to be alpha, and they act like they don't get their feelings hurt. They act like they don't get their feelings hurt. They act like they don't fall in love. They act like they're so above it. I know there's some MGTOWs watching this video right now thinking, Angry, you're such a fucking pussy. But we're human beings. We are human beings. And I don't have it in me right now to lie to you. I don't think this is the time where I need to give you some generic answer that you would get from one of these other gurus that are going to tell you, that you can just get over it and move on. I'm not going to feed you the PUA bullshit because there's enough of that crap going around as it is. The truth is, the only things I can suggest to you is to, one, do things that you enjoy. So that is important. But don't think that it's going to make you forget about her. I would honestly advise you to confront the issue with her directly. Confront her directly. If you're to the point of suicide, you have to confront her directly. Confront her directly, and you have to basically push things to the point where either they go to hell or they go in the direction that you want them to. I mean, I'm talking about If you want to be in a relationship with her, tell her again, you have to be straightforward and you have to be blunt. Straightforward and blunt. Don't dance around the subject. Don't try to romanticize it. Don't try to take your time with it. Your immediate instinct with this girl has to be to fuck her. And listen to me. You have to do whatever you have to do to immediately work towards fucking her as soon as possible. Sticking your dick in her as soon as possible. If you need to damage any relationship with her, again, you have this thing in your head where you think she's the perfect girl, but at the same time you don't want to damage the relationship that you have with her right now, right? Because she's so perfect. When you start pushing for a relationship to get what you want out of her, from her, that's when you'll find out how perfect she really is. If she bobs and weaves and, plays games, again, you have to make yourself very blunt, very direct. You have to stand up, act like a man, as hard as it can sound. And I'm giving this straightforward advice. Some MGTOWs would say, turn around, walk away, don't do this. That's absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. That doesn't help anyone. Hiding and trying to avoid the issue, you just lingers on and it just torments you for a long time. It'll just torment you for a long time. Okay? Honestly, you should just go out and do your best. Try to fuck her. Like, you need to just straightforward go for what you want. Go for what you want. Let her know that you're interested in her, that you want to spend time with her. And if she agrees, set up a time. It doesn't, listen, forget about dinner. Don't take her for dinner. If she says that she'll go out with you, don't take her for dinner. If you can get her to come right straight to your place, like, hey, go back to your place and watch your movie, fine. Or, again, dude, you should just be very, very direct at this point. Very, very, very direct. It's better to destroy the relationship with her than to leave any shred of hope. That's how I found the best way to deal with these things are. It's better to destroy a relationship with a girl, especially when she's a one-itis. Destroy it with her or get what you want than to keep lingering and being tormented. So ask her to hang out. And when I say ask her to go out, say let's go out. Don't even say hang out. Because my generation is fucked up. Us millennials are fucked up. We are a fucked up generation. Say let's go out. Don't say hang out. Let's go out. Say let's go out. Don't go for a movie. Go grab some coffee. Go to a coffee shop. Just something very short. And the stop between the coffee shop is going to be from the coffee shop back to your place. Or you're going to say, hey, let's just go straight back. Or you can ask her just to come hang out at your place and say that she'll just drink, have a couple of drinks and relax and watch Netflix. None of this date crap really needs to come to an end. All right? You need to immediately isolate her and push for sex. Because right now your brain is telling you that you need to reproduce with her. You need to have sex with her. That's all that's happening. That's what the one-itis is. Your brain is telling you that you need to have sex with her at all costs. She's the most perfect mate for you to have sex with. That's all that's happening. And I know some MGTOWs are going to say a lot of shit. I would recommend, a part of me wants to recommend that you go and get a hooker. Part of me wants to recommend that you go and get a hooker. And I think that maybe it's possible it could help a little bit, but it may not, because I've been there before. And when you are head over heels in love with a girl, when you are extremely in love with a girl, Tom, it's so different. It's so different. When you are in love with her, that's all you can think about. And I've been there where I've gone and I've fucked a hooker. It doesn't change the fact that I'm still in love with this girl. You have to literally get that shit out of your system, and the only way to get it out of your system is to confront her head on. Make yourself clear, make it clear what you want, and go forward. Don't be a pussy about it, because you will end up pushing yourself over the edge. I know, I've been there. I know exactly where you are. I understand that suicidal instinct. I get it. I don't wish that on. The only person I'd probably wish that on would be probably Teal Dare, because I really don't like the guy, and I feel like that's a fate worse than death. So I think I'd wish it on to a guy like Teal Dare, because it's a living hell. It's a living nightmare. I'm a bastard. But I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it means to hurt like that. So you need to actually step up and you need to go for the girl. You need to make it very clear what you want. You need to touch her. This is another thing. Like, you need to stop keeping distance between her. You need to put your hand on her shoulder. You need to get close to her. Okay? You need to stop with this nice guy crap. There's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. No More Mr. Nice Guy. You can find it on Amazon. All right? It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy. I want you to go and I want you to buy this book. And I want you to read this book. This book is so important. And anytime you're feeling down, you're going to reread the book or reread your favorite section from the book. This book will help you to get to the point where you're able to do what I'm telling you you have to do. I remember I went out with this girl once, and I essentially, at the end of the date, I drove her home and I went in for a kiss, and she was like, "Oh, my parents might see," because we're in front of her parents' house, and I didn't give a damn. And in the end, she was pissed off with me because, she felt like I didn't respect her. And we were friends before that. Before everything went to hell between us, we were friends. But I pushed things so far with her that in the end, our relationship collapsed. We weren't friends anymore. We stopped speaking. But I made it very clear that either I'm going to fuck you, we're going to have a sexual relationship, or you're not going to want to have anything to do with me anymore. But we're not going to be friends after this. I made sure to destroy that friendship. We were friends first, and I made sure to go out of my way to destroy that friendship. I did. And it sounds like you may be friends with this girl. You need to destroy whatever friendship you have with her. Okay? You need to don't forget about, but you need to make it very clear that you and her are not that you're not simply friends. There will be no we can still be friends at the end of this thing. Nah. There won't be any of that crap. You need to get it out of your head that you're going to be friends with her at the end of this. No, it's going to be one of two things. Either you and her are going to end up fucking, or you and her are not going to speak to each other anymore. You're done with each other. That's how it's going to work. That's how it works, amigo. I'm not going to go send you off to see a hooker, because that's one way that you'll just end up you go to see a hooker one time, and sometimes it may feel like it fills a void for a little while when you're in that situation, but it doesn't. It just you might become dependent upon it too. It's like you start thinking that you're getting a bit and pieces of what you want from that special girl. So I'm not going to tell you to go see a hooker, because it's a quick way to waste all of your money and only to sink deeper and deeper into despair when you realize the sex just isn't what you thought it would be. Because sex really isn't all that great. It is not as great as people make it out to be. You need to stand up, act like a man, push forward, let her know what you want, make yourself clear, and you need to do your best to sleep with her as quickly as possible. I'm not talking about sexually assaulting her, nothing like that, because big towels don't do that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about getting alone with her and having sex with her. If she doesn't want to, she'll let you know. But at the end of the day, you have to destroy that friendship that you have with her. You have to leave it in such pieces that there's either one of two things. Either you and her are going to end up in a relationship. You might sleep together one time. You might become boyfriend and girlfriend, or you are your or if you don't, there will not be a friendship at the end. This is the radical advice you're going to get from me. That's the advice you're getting from me. Okay? You can't run away from it. You can't turn your back on it. You can't exercise it away. You fuck a hooker and get over it that way. You have to actually go at it head on. You have to deal with the issue head on, because if you don't, it'll constantly be in the back of your mind attacking you. Don't be afraid to stand up to her. Which one are you afraid of more? Are you afraid of more that, something bad will happen? Maybe she'll say that you did something. Dude, listen, there's nothing worse than living in the hell of not knowing of what could be, or of not getting what it is that you want. That's the worst hell there possibly is. The friend zone, that's a blizzard. That place is a fucking blizzard. Okay? So stop playing the game. When you see her, push for what you want. Make it very clear what you want. Tell her, let's go hang out. Stop playing games with her. Don't play any more games. Stop playing games with this woman. Make it clear what you want. If things go to hell, so be it. Your ultimate goal is to have sex with her as soon as possible. After you have sex with her, you would be amazed how much it would clear up your head. She may no longer be that special Nawalt that you saw her as that entire time. Suddenly you think, holy cow, it's not all that great. Or she's not as special as I thought she was. You'd be amazed how sex changes things between you and her very quickly. Because it's your brain telling you that you need to do the reproductive act. But as soon as you do it, something will go off and you usually wake up and see things more clearly. That's the best advice I can give you. If things don't go that way, you don't sleep with her again. At least you break up the relationship and your brain is telling you, at least your brain resolves that, hey, you tried to fuck her. You made it very clear that you wanted to fuck her. She didn't want to fuck you, but you did what you had to do. And now you are no longer friends. And the idea of her being in the Walt in your head is going to be gone. That's the best advice I have for you, Tom. It's very unconventional. A lot of MGTOWs would probably say, like I said, go focus on yourself and focus on a passion or fuck a hooker. Nah, I'm not going to tell you to do any of that crap. You have to deal with it head on. When you're dealing with a one-itis, deal with it head on. Don't pussyfoot around it. Deal with it head on. Deal with it head on. That's the best advice I can give to you. Because it's a living hell when you have one-itis. Guys, I want to know what you think in the comments section, if you agree with any of the feedback that I gave to Tom. Do you think that I gave him good advice about being straightforward with her and making it very clear what his intentions are and trying to develop a sexual relationship with her as soon as possible? I mean, immediately, skipping over dates and no courtship, just going straight for the punch. Do you agree? Or do you think that I should have said that he should be focusing on dieting, exercise, and some passions to take his mind off her? Or should he be out sleeping with hookers? What do you think? Do you think that my advice was right about just going straight in and pushing to develop either a sexual relationship or destroy any possibility of a friendship between him and her? Let me know what you think in the comment section if you agree with what I've said. If you enjoyed the video, please consider going over to my YouTube homepage, or you are looking in the description of this video for a link to my PayPal. And you can leave a donation. I try to make at least 3 of these videos every single day, and the donations help to ensure I can continue to make quality content for you guys. If you have a video request, include your video request in the message section when you send your donation. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MGTOW or death. And cheers.